College Park Business and Industrial Development Authority. The time is approximately 6:37, and I'm Jamel McKenzie, the chairperson. At this time, I'd like to have each of our BIDA board members begin by introducing themselves, and then our city staff, followed by any guests that we may have in the room.
Good evening, City College Park, everyone welcome. My name is Melissa Jefferson, Vice Chair, representing Ward 4.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Parker.
My name is Wesley Sam, I'm BIDA at large.
Anita Brown Cadis, Ward 3.
Ken Allen, Mayor Pro Tem.
Bianca Motley Groom, Mayor.
Artie Jones, Executive Director for the College Park.
Dan Lee, Attorney for Clearly College Park.
Sabrina Beasley, Administrative Assistant, Economic Development, also the Assistant Secretary Treasurer for BIDA, City of College Park.
I'm Renee Coakley, Main Street Manager for the City of College Park.
Julian McBride, Chair of the Main Street Board and owner of the Corner Group.
Ginger Blackstone, citizen.
And that would be me too. I'm Carl Watkins, and I'm a citizen. Constantly Ambrose Lane, Ward 1.
Darnetta Tyus, City Manager for the City of College Park.
Good afternoon, I'm Mercedes Miller, Executive Director for the GICC and the fabulous Gateway Arena at College Park.
Natasha Hall Garrison, I'm the Community Development Administrator for City of College Park.
I think that we've covered everybody, and again, welcome. We're just so happy to have you with us today. So this time, we're going to move on to item 2 on our agenda, which is the review and approval of minutes. We actually have 2 sets of minutes to approve, and in your BIDA packets, the first set of minutes are from our February 24th. We had a special call meeting. So at this time, are there any corrections or revisions to, or anything to these minutes?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
I have marked a few minor typos. I can go through them by line, if that helps. For the 24th, I think it is, minutes, line 67, I think it's industry, trade, and employment opportunities. Line 68.
I'm sorry, line 67?
Yes.
Okay, industry, trade, and employment.
Line 68, he, the, I don't know which one it should be.
Okay.
Line 78, how can they part in the budget? And these are mostly typographical or grammatical, but I think it's important.
Thank you.
Lines 83 and 84, she said her understanding was that BIDA could not take on debt. Attorney Lee stated they could, but it is easier with the board. I think that's very unclear. I'm not sure what was meant.
I can go back to this.
And I think that is all for that set of minutes.
Okay, and are there any other adjustments, corrections? Okay, if not, I'd like to entertain a motion on the floor that these minutes be adopted with the revisions and the changes as noted.
So moved.
So, all right. Second? Second. Okay, that's Vice Chair. Those that are in favor, please say aye. Aye. Are there any nays? Abstain. You abstain? All right. Okay, so we have the mayor abstaining. Okay, so at this time, let's look at the meetings, the minutes from our last meeting, which was on February 10th. This was our joint meeting of the mayor, council, and BIDA. Are there any adjustments that need to be made on this, or any corrections?
Madam Chair, once again, just a few.
Yes, ma'am.
I would ask that in line 173, Spelman College, be spelled correctly, S-P-E-L, M-A-N. Being a proud graduate of an HBCU myself.
One hill, whatever.
On line 223, additional multifamily housing in over 60 years, is that correct? This complete sentence pertains to Mayor Pro Tem Allen, groundbreaking. The second phase will be additional multifamily housing in over 60 years.
Yes.
That's all I heard.
That is true.
That's true?
Yes. That was the West Fayetteville Summer Street project.
Okay. Go back up to line 201, 202, there's two E's. Once again, typographical, and in line
Okay, I'm sorry, you said 201?
201, 202, take out one of the he's. He stated.
Okay.
And finally, line 246, member Zen asked if she ever had plans. And that's it.
All right. Are there any additional revisions or adjustments, corrections? Well, again, if we can entertain a motion from the floor to accept the minutes, to adopt the minutes with the changes as noted. All right, moved by the mayor. Second, is anyone that would second that? Okay, by member Case. And those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Okay, it is unanimous. All right. I would like to, before we move any further, I guess we'll go on with our additions, deletions, and amendments and changes to the agenda. But I would like to, I guess this is in a way of an announcement, is we would like to welcome our newest BIDA board member, Miss Lisa Parker. This is her first meeting. She was selected and I guess elected at our council meeting on Monday, and we welcome you, Lisa. She represents Joe Karn, our councilman for the Second Ward College Park. So, welcome, Lisa. And so at this time, do we have any additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like to add to the agenda. I think that given light of the recent public comments that were made at the city council meeting, I think that we need a clarification statement for the relationship between the United Methodist Church concerning the Diamond Project and the code of conduct and performance with the fire board. So I definitely would like to add that as well.
Alrighty, okay. Now, I guess the question would be, if we would add that, would that be placed under new business or other issues?
Just not over the motion.
Okay, so this time, Member Jefferson has asked that we conduct a clarification based on the public comments that were made at the last council meeting. And if someone would like to motion on that we add that to the agenda for tonight. So moved by Dr. Case. Second.
Did you say where you wanted it?
Oh, and where you want it. Okay, and we would add that. Where would you want it?
It could be other issues.
Other issues, okay.
That's fine.
Okay,
So moved to add.
so move to add to other issues. All right. And was someone second that?
Second.
All right, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, all 4 ayes, okay. 4 ayes, and those opposed?
Opposed.
You're opposed, okay. Anyone abstain? Say again?
I'll abstain.
Abstain, okay. The mayor is opposed, Mayor Pro Tem is abstaining, and the rest of the board has, Leslie's in. I'm sorry, Leslie's here. Leslie, can you hear us? She said it's very difficult to hear, so if we can, everybody can, you see I'm projecting my voice because I'm doing my food. Can
Okay.
we hear Leslie?
Leslie,
Artie and I can hear Jamel. That's about it.
you can hear Jamel and that's about it? Okay. We'll try to speak extra loud for you. She said it was, did you vote in favor of the additional item?
I'll abstain. I can't hear it.
Okay, she's going to say, the ayes have it. will continue to add that on to other issues. All right. Yes, ma'am.
I have an issue. Mike, so that I can maybe speak more directly to it.
It's here, just on the computer itself. You can come up here, you can walk up here if you want to.
I'd like to add, can you hear me, Leslie?
Can you hear Leslie? It's Ms. Cadis.
I'd like to add an item to, I think it would be new business. We've discussed the creation of an SOP for the board as in our 24th February meeting. And so I'd like to formalize the addition or the creation of an SOP or the revision of the existing SOP, I'm not sure which, as an item under new business.
Okay, everybody understand that under new business? Is there a motion on the floor for that?
It could be, there's business.
She's saying under new business, so it would be B, at this point it would be B.
For B?
Yes, 4B.
So moved.
So moved. Would someone second that? No, I can. I guess I'll second. Can I second something? I can, okay. Is there anyone that would second that? Thank you, Ms. Carmen. Thank you. All right, those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those that are opposed, please say that you're opposed, that you're opposed. Aye, if you're opposed. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions?
Ms. Zen voted yes.
She voted yes?
Yes.
Okay. So we have, is there anybody opposed? I couldn't hear. Everyone was okay? Okay. So then that has passed.
And I have one other item to add to executive session, if this is where it's appropriate, and that would be an update on both the BAM project and the pending PSA for discussion of real estate.
Okay. So we just, so you want to add some items to discussion of real estate. Do you need to vote on that, ma'am? Because it's,
Yeah, usually you vote on them collectively as far as the items.
all right. So,
And I have a couple of items also.
yes. So are we going to do that all at the same time? Or you want to just, okay, so you're saying
Discussion of real estate.
real
Discussion of
estate.
real estate.
We're adding on real estate. Artie, what did you want?
Yeah, removal of 4A SEC inducement, removal from the agenda. Removal of 8B in executive session. Discussion of possible litigation, executive session, adding. Adding an executive session, discussion of real estate. The last item is, and I guess this one might be a 4C. And this just came to my mind, election of a secretary treasurer.
No, we don't have to have that in executive session.
No, that's 4C, 4C.
4C, okay.
Because we still need to have documents signed,
I
so
have that down here too, so, okay, so,
that's all my items.
okay, so let's back up then. We're gonna start off with the executive session items, which if we can entertain a motion to add on to executive session, discussion of possible litigation and additional real estate. Is that, help me out there?
That's right.
Am I on the right track?
Right, and the removal of.
And the removal of 8V. Now, which means I'm not going to say what is what at this point. What means 4A, 4B, and we just know we're gonna add that on. Would somebody like to move on that? So move. All right. Second?
Second.
Okay, okay. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. 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 Everyone, Leslie, is ayes, so it will be, there are no opposed, no one opposed. Okay. Now we have as Artie has asked that we have an election of secretary treasurer, we would add that to under new business, which would be 4C. 4C. Can we receive a motion from the floor in terms and to add the election of a secretary treasurer? So moved.
Second.
Second, those in favor, please say aye. 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 Is that me as well? Okay, unanimous. And any opposed? Okay, Leslie say aye as well.
She said aye. Yes, just raise your hand.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I can't see you, Leslie. I know you're there though. Okay, so election of secretary treasurer. Okay,
One thing, removal of
the removal.
the SEC.
Okay, can we vote on both removals?
4A and D.
Can we do 4A and 8D at the same time, or do we need to do this? Okay, so at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion that we remove item 4A under new business and item 8B under the executive session.
So moved.
All right, second. Those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. So a lot of changes. Okay. Phew. I kind of marked up my little agenda page. Okay, well, this is wonderful. At this time, we will move to item 4, which is now replaced 4A, 4B, which is the BIDA SOP creation or discussion. And I'm going to turn that into the hands of Dr. Cadis since you initiated that.
I'd like to suggest, based upon the meeting in February, which was a follow-on to our retreat, that part of the discussion we had was that we discussed a number of issues related to the process flow of our work as BIDA. Our fine attorney, Lee, said, if there's not a problem, don't fix it. And immediately, I think problems began to become evident to all of us. So I would say that the first step would be to examine our processes and procedures operationally for BIDA, and that we make some changes as will become evident to that standard operating procedure. Attorney Lee assures us that there is a procedure that has worked for years, and so our first order of business should be to identify that and using sort of a Six Sigma approach to look at it with input from various constituent groups and make changes as needed. Consistent with that, so that would be my motion. But I would also add to that to say that consistent with that, there's some low-hanging fruit. Twice in the past week, I've received emails indirectly because the initial email concerning BIDA business was sent to 2 different Anita Browns somewhere. I don't know where those documents now sit. I know that they had to be forwarded to me to my email address because they were incorrectly sent. I would like to suggest that one of the things we definitely need to do is we just received today a new roster, but perhaps for security's sake, it might be best to give each of us an email address that is first name dot last name or ward3 dot whatever at collegepark.com, the way that city council and other people in College Park have. That way it could go at least to a relatively more secure server. I think that's low-hanging fruit. We need consistent emails for everybody who's getting information from BIDA. The other thing that I might suggest is another piece of low-hanging fruit is that we begin to version our documents so that all documents go out as a PDF so that it can't be changed, and all documents go out with a versioning so that the date, the version, sometimes we get documents that go through 5 different iterations in a day. So that at least we come up administratively with some way to version documents so that we're not inundated with documents. We don't know when they were done, what's the most recent version, and that all documents, once they're sent from the source, go out as a PDF so that it cannot be changed unless changed by the author. So that would be part of an SOP. It's a big motion, I know, but the simple motion is that we immediately begin to explore and create a current version of standard operating procedures for the work done by BIDA. That's the motion.
Right? Is it possible, can I add?
Yeah, discussion, certainly.
In addition, thank you, Dr. Case, in addition to her suggestions for the SOP, I would also like to add, in order to secure our record keeping, that we consider signing up for electronic signature tracking service similar to DocuSign, so that our signatures or whatever that's needed on the documents are time, date stamped, and the copies are actually recorded and saved within the folder, so that as contracts, dates change and amendments are done, we can have a safe, secure record keeping to get back to those contracts accordingly. As well as if there are any omissions, changes, or additions, that is done through a notification. Since we are working with PSAs as a realtor, if I made any changes to a contract, Georgia Real Estate Commission requires me to file an addendum, a special stipulations, or some type of notification that this contract has been changed. And I think that to keep us secure and to keep us performing under our professional conduct, it would be advantageous for us to move and add that SOP guideline.
So, how do we handle it?
I'm gonna make a suggestion. I think that a lot of things that we've been discussing, I wholeheartedly agree with both Dr. Cadis and the Vice Chair, that we need to establish that SOP and make sure that everyone has a clear understanding and employ technology as well to make sure that everything goes as smoothly as possible. My suggestion would be that we task the staff with that, as opposed to doing that as the board, because I think that is an operational exercise, and at the very getting an understanding of the SOPs that we currently have, so that we can take a look at them, make some suggestions, and then move forward. But I think if we've got staff and the entire board kind of going in at the same time, we may be less effective in the task.
Could we have somebody represented from the BIDA to work with staff, to make sure, put somebody on that group, just a committee or two people or whatever, just to make sure that everybody's voices get heard?
I'll respond to that. I think that that's what it should be. I agree. I believe that what we need to do is set up a committee to address exactly what Dr. Cadis is saying, the SOP from BIDA, because this is BIDA. But also we still need the staff involvement. So to have the committee, and maybe it will be, our staff is 2 people, I guess, right now.
Well, I think what I was saying is have staff take the lead, have a couple of people from BIDA work with staff, and together they can.
When we're talking about staff, who are we referring to in terms of staff?
City staff or whatever.
The city manager, okay.
City staff, yeah.
I thought we were talking about Arnie and Sabrina.
So actually, Artie and Sabrina are, they would be city staff. So if I'm allowed to chime in, I think staff should be working first. I'm pretty pained as to the quality of some of the information that we have here. I think staff should do the work first. So that initial look at your SOPs and functions, they should lay that out, and then we should have, and I'm okay with a person or so being a part of that process. But then when we bring it back to the board, we bring it back in a way where we didn't actually do the work of staff.
Yeah, I think that, I don't have an objection to that either. Okay, yes, sir?
I was just gonna add to that, this past week, with all that's going on, the direction as the city manager, we've begun to look at the current SOPs, and staff has, they have an SOP, and to see what worked, what didn't work, what, I think the board needs to know what that is before we talk about changing it. And I think we're accumulating, the city attorneys have a look at that, and we'd like to bring back in a report on what's along the same lines as you all discussed. We might shed a lot of light on it.
Okay, so then can we establish something that effective immediately, staff will begin to do this? Let's give staff, and as a board, we can require that maybe by the next meeting?
So I'm gonna ask that you, as we do SOPs, this will all come into play, 'cause we have been kind of confused. So staff is doing double responsibility, so the city staff and their BIDA staff. I'm gonna ask us to centralize that for a second, while I get a handle on it. So that the instruction, should be me. And then I take responsibility for making sure that it gets done through my staff with some input from the board to come back to you with some baseline of having that discussion.
I thoroughly concur that you should have direction over, the work of your staff. I will say, however, that it concerns me the urgency with which not receiving documents and documents being sent to someone other than the concerned party represent relatively urgent security kinds of things. So I would ask that, at the very least, we begin to tighten up the way documents go out.
Absolutely.
And are sent electronically.
Absolutely. The urgency is not lost on me.
So,
I don't think you do. I think you made it formal. If you made it formal motion, I think you did.
she did put it in the motion. So the motion will be that, you want to word that? Because there's a lot of things that happen. So, timeline, I would like to implement, if city manager, can you give us a timeline?
Right this minute, no, I can't. So I need to go back and I need to huddle with my team and then we'll get back to you. So what I accept here, is the desire of the BIDA board to have staff as quickly as we can and we'll add urgency to it, to begin to look at those.
What I'd like to request is that, if, I have no problem with staff doing this because we're not staff. But we would still like to have some input. So even in terms of us submitting to you some of the concerns that we may have. And so as you address these issues, you will kind of have in mind what even some of our maybe suggestions may be.
Okay. And that initial look as it comes to you,
Yes.
for your input, that initial look will happen relatively soon. As the attorney stated, I've already given that directive.
Okay. So,
Can we have a couple of people like a BIDA or something?
absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, some BIDA members will get together and present some things to the city manager just to be, so you can understand where we're coming from as well.
Just to kind of work
Is a
together.
motion necessary for this?
I think so. It's okay. It's not.
Okay.
Because we want it to be in the minutes as this is the direction. What you're the one that proposed it, so.
I mean, if the consensus of the body, I'm sorry,
I'm
well, I was
listening.
gonna say, if the consensus of the body is for the city manager to move forward with it in the way that we have discussed, and the minutes reflect that, and she's made the commitment to come back. There's a lot of things that are happening in terms of the SOPs and the input from the board, and it's kind of a messy motion. But if the content itself is there and the intent is there in the minutes, and we've got them recorded and we have the opportunity to review them to make sure that they are clear for that content, I'm not certain that a motion itself, that there's an action of the board that is actually happening.
And I think I would agree with that. I would like, although, to say that next month, I think we'd like a sense of where we are with that. If we can report.
So I would have to disagree with that, and here's my reason. When we had our strategic planning meeting, what was it, last year in February? We identified those objectives, was it September or something? Okay. We identified those objectives that we were going to work towards, creating the protocols and SOPs and internal controls, and then we just had a special meeting to discuss that. So I think that at this point in time, in order to get it rectified, that a motion be called for it. Because we're going on a third discussion with intent. And we're still having the issues.
I guess to piggyback on what you're saying, I mean, I hear what the mayor's saying, and I hear what you're saying, Celissa, and Vice Chair. What is the problem with the vote? Is there anything wrong with voting? I mean, can we reach a middle ground? I mean, there's nothing wrong with voting. Because if it's going to be done, it's going to be done. So if one of our members feels more comfortable that we take this to a vote, what we do is we just take it to a vote. And when we vote, we'll find out who wants it and who doesn't. To vote, for it to be a vote. So, I mean, that's my input,
So, I think I would say I move that BIDA and the city manager work with all urgency to address certain security issues as it relates to communication. And and that would be my motion. That would be my motion.
Is there a second? All right, those that are in favor, simply say aye. 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 Are you okay, Mayor? You're an aye?
I'm an
All right, Leslie, did you hear that? Okay, well, the ayes, it's carried, and I guess we're just gonna struggle a little bit tonight with hearing what Leslie's saying. All righty, okay, thank you. Okay, so there is a let me get this together. Is there another, I know we have the election, is that is the new 4B thing? Okay, so we elected Ms. Aminata Bojang to be our Secretary Treasurer at the first meeting of this year. Unfortunately, Ms. Bojang has some commitments that will not allow her to serve in the capacity that she needs to serve on the board. And so she gave her resignation to Councilman Clark, and it is urgent now that we elect a new Secretary Treasurer. And so at this time, if I can do the nomination, I would like to nominate Leslie Zinn to be our Secretary Treasurer. And would anybody like to so move? So moved? Okay, all right. So, second. All right, those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Did you vote for yourself this time? Okay, she raised her hand. Okay, is there anyone opposed with Ms. Zinn being our Secretary Treasurer? Okay, so the vote is unanimous. Congratulations, Secretary Treasurer. We got some documents for you this time. Okay, is there anything else? So at this time, I believe that we are up to item 5, GICC update with the marvelous Mercedes Miller.
Again, good afternoon, everybody. I put a report in front of some. If you don't have one, I'll give you one as I'm leaving out. But our year-to-date operating revenues are $4.0 million at the GICC and $822,247 at the arena. The GICC is at 56% of their revenue goal, and the arena is at 11%. Business is picking up for the month of April. We have the Metro Development Outlook. We have the World Natural Hair Show, Fed Pregnancy Resource Center, Kids Autistic. For May, what we did pick up, we picked up Spelman's True Blue Gala. We are also doing McLaren High School graduation. Fulton County graduations, the schools on the south side usually go up north to Gwinnett for their graduations. So we have worked out a deal so that I think it's 6 schools on the south side, they're gonna have their graduation at the arena. And then we have all of the Clayton County graduations that's gonna be at the arena and at the convention center. And as you can see, the Dream Games are gonna start. We have one on May 11th, 13th, 20th, and 29th. Also, in June, we have a graduation for the Salvation Army seminaries. They're going to hold their graduations. We have Delta Sigma Theta. The Archdiocese is coming back. So a lot of the groups that have been there in the past are coming back. AKA is a big group for us. It was booked through the DMO. They have about 5,000 room nights in the area, and it's a citywide event. So we're very excited about having that event at the convention center. Also, just some updates. There was an article yesterday in the Business Chronicle that said College Park will be hosting an e-sport competition. It's going to be May the 6th through the 8th, and that's going to be at the Gateway Arena. Let's see. We are also working with a company for naming rights. For those that have watched the meeting, they made an initial offer of $500K per year for 5 years, so we have asked for 6. So the owner of the company will be coming in to meet with us next week. I have also working with a guy that wants to book 8 boxing events at the arena as well. So we're working out a deal. They're going to try to get 4,000 people in the arena, but they're going to have it on pay-per-view. So my deal is I want part of his pay-per-view money because that's where he's going to make his money. I want his money. And also this weekend we have the Atlanta Pet Fair. So you can see dogs in different colors and they're all over the convention center. So we are getting busy again. We're just going to truck along and we're going to make it happen. That's it. Any questions?
Wow. Mercedes, you truly hit the ground running. You've only been back 3 minutes and already you're packing out the GICC. We are returning to large meetings.
Not me, it was the staff. They have been working hard.
So thank you staff. We're looking forward to getting our GICC. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Ms. Miller?
And please, if anybody's coming here, we are trying to become cashless in the parking lot. We have some people that are arguing about cash, but we're trying to become cashless. I think it's safer for our attendance, and it's easier calculation for getting people in the center. That's it.
Thank you so much. Item 6, economic development reports. We're going to start with Mr. Dave Coakley.
Alrighty, good evening again, everybody. Okay, for the month of February, we had 1 new business on Virginia Avenue. It is an auto detailing business that we found out they were already operating before they were legit. So we made that happen, and we're glad to have another business on Virginia Avenue. I just wanted to give a brief little update about our community-wide cleanup for the entire area. I organized the Main Street portion, but we had 112 volunteers citywide, 250 bags of trash collected, plus tires and some other items. We had beautiful weather, we had teamwork, and we kept College Park beautiful. And so I just wanted to recognize again all the wonderful volunteers that participated that day. In the Main Street area, we did some special stuff. We painted curbs and removed stickers and all that stuff too. And I think Tasha and her team did some of that fun stuff too. So, but it was just a beautiful day, and it was great to see people take pride in their community. Okay, on February 22nd, we had a ribbon cutting for another fabulous business on Main Street. So excited to have Lotus Body Lab. It is an amazing additional spa that we have on Main Street, but totally different services from what the wellness spot has. So it is wonderful to have another opportunity to have some special services. bottom left, you can see the swings in their salt room. I cannot wait to try that out. If you come out to an event we're going to talk about in a few seconds on the 17th, she's going to have her official now open. I told her the last time we did a wine stroll, we had over 200 people downtown. And I told her, I said, this would be the perfect opportunity for you to capture some of these people. So although we did a ribbon cutting and she's open, you can book services now. She'll have some table out and big sign up, and she'll have a wine station as well, welcoming people in the community, trying to let people know that she is here. So I'm really excited to have that business as well. For the month of February, we did a Love Downtown campaign. Was very excited to put that on. We had many entries for the campaign. You can see on the screen, I just posted 3 of the comments that were sent. And for all of the businesses that were recognized, I coupled all their comments and sent it to the owners. Julian got a compliments on the Corner Grill, several I believe. But all the businesses were excited to feel the love from the community. And the winners from the competition were excited to get that $150 gift card. So looking forward to doing something great again. Always trying to come up with new and exciting things. And if you're familiar, we had a selfie mural put on the side of 3719. And we did that sort of in-house. CPMSA pretty much funded that mural, and it's a great addition. There was a couple outside this morning when I got to work taking selfies, waiting to go into the Real Milk and Honey. And so after this mural was completed, I had a business on Main Street at the end of last year and said, Renee, I have some money. I want to give it to you before the end of the year, and we want to put a mural. We want to sponsor a mural. So stay tuned. The Main Street Board approved the mural yesterday, and it will be on the 21st, the next council agenda for mayor and council to put their eyes on it. We're so excited. It's so cute. And it will accompany this mural, and the goal, again, just to remind everybody, our goal as the Main Street Board, after we did the first one, well, we were planning to paint the whole wall, and then we thought that it would be great to do like an art gallery. So that's why we're going to do snippets of murals. So we probably have the opportunity to put 3 to 4 more murals on this wall. So the one that is proposed is a great complement to this mural right here. So we're really excited. Don't want to give it away yet, but it will be aired on the council meeting, and then when it's approved, we'll start having that installed. Couple of upcoming events. Our next Main Street Board meeting is April 13th. We're still on Zoom right now. That feel like it's getting ready to change. We just kind of talked about it a little bit at yesterday's meeting. So we'll revisit that in April. We have the Spring Wine Stroll happening next Thursday. Hope everybody has their glasses. It's going to be a night of fun. We added some additional things this time. We have some plein air artists. We have 6 artists. One of the artists is a live body painter. She'll have the model will have clothes on, but portions of that body will be painted. So we're really excited. This person is amazing. So we're really excited that she agreed to do that. She does 2 different forms of art, and she was flip-flopping in it, so she finally agreed to do the live body art. So the goal is to have people stop at the depot, get their glass, visit the 27 businesses we have slated, and then stop at the lawn at the auditorium and watch the artists paint from 4 to 7, and then stick around for the jazz that's going to start at 6. So it's just going to be a night of fun. Michelle Johnson has green beer, so we'll have wine. We'll have non-alcoholic wine as well, and green beer, and then they'll have light fare. Proof of the Pudding is going to have some light things as well. So it's just going to be an evening of fun. Hope you all can come. We talked about Jazz on the Lawn. We'll also have another ribbon cutting on March 25th. It's a salon that's replacing a salon. It is right in the backup of TKST, the law firm on Main Street, right where Subway is on the corner. So that is on the 25th. If you're available, please come and help celebrate this new business. And the Tri-Cities mixers are returning. Yay! So March 31st, and for those of you who do not know, The Tri-Cities, of course, at East Point, College Park, Hapeville, and prior to COVID, we had a monthly meeting in each of those cities, and our goal is to highlight a business that may not be getting as much love as some other businesses or people may not be familiar with. And it's a great business networking event. And of course, it went away because of COVID, and the 3 Main Street managers for the Tri-Cities, we decided to just bring it back slowly. So we're doing it quarterly, and the first one is going to be on the 31st. So looking forward to that. If you're available, please come out and enjoy. It is in Hapeville for the first time. In Town Focus is the location. So, and emails will be going out soon. Again, I have sent out the first email, but you should be getting something again soon. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Renee. We're gonna clap right after that. Renee, I want to thank you. You are phenomenal about keeping us informed. I have a business in the city and, nonprofit, and I just want to thank you for, the emails that you send, and also we have Julian here tonight. So just the Main Street Merchants Association, y'all are doing a phenomenal job. Anybody have any questions or comments for Renee before we go on to Tasha? Well, thank you again. Okay, all right, Tasha Hall-Garrison.
Thank you. So I'm going to present as far as for the South Side and community development, and then ask for any questions at the end to just simplify it. So in the month of February, we actually had 10 new businesses within the South Side corridor. One that I was very happy to assist was in the ribbon cutting of 2 of our businesses. The first being 6 West Auto Care. And second, located on the same parcel, is Fulton County Motorsports. This was actually a collaboration between 2 business owners which used one previously used parcel, which previously served as a mechanic shop. What they decided to do was split up the area. There was enough space where in the front they actually do kind of more of your mechanical automotive repair work, and then in the back is more of your body work. They also offer a discount as far as for city employees and for citizens, so please give them, kind of go check them out, and they do have car washing services available every day. Secondly, going into the South Side, we are planning a tree planting with Trees Atlanta on April the 2nd. It will be taking place adjacent to the Tracy Wyatt Recreation Center, and it will be going from 9 a.m. to noon. This collaboration will allow us, we actually received the grant through Trees Atlanta to plant 56 trees. They will be native trees to Georgia, as well as we have the addition of some flowering and edible trees and bushes. So for residents, there will be the opportunity to pick pecans, to pick pawpaws, and as well as to pick berries once those bushes come into season. With this grant, it also takes care of 2 years of maintenance for the trees on the property. Okay, for the South Side, we do continue on with our Aerospace Cid Meetings. I did leave the old National Merchants Association off because right now it has not been announced if they will be going back in person or virtual, but as soon as I get an update, I can provide that to the board. So going into community development, we have a lot going on. The first thing I would like to announce is that the City of College Park, our representatives, including myself, Economic Development Director Artie Jones, Mayor Motley Broom, Interim Police Chief Shars McQuarrie, as well as Community Representative Jay Schultz, attended the National League of Cities Vacant Property Leadership Institute in Austin, Texas, the week prior. It was about February the 7th. We learned so much during those 4 days, 3 nights that we traveled. We learned so much information with the other 11 cities nationwide that came. We, as well as the city of South Fulton and Perry, Georgia, represented the state of Georgia. And I want to just give some of the major points that we learned during this process. The first one is that we're doing the right thing in the city of College Park in looking at code enforcement through a lens of code compliance. What we want to do is build a relationship with the neighbors and with residents, business owners, property owners, where we can all communicate so that we can meet the same ending. I always say that this is a marriage. Once you decide to move into the city or have property in the city, we are married and we want to make sure that it's a good relationship. So the way that we do that, it has been in changing that title, but also in changing the approach. Instead of enforcing something, we want you to comply. We want to have a conversation, and we want to come up with a plan that will work for us both. Now, if you don't want to come up with a plan, enforcement options are there, but we want to at least have that initial conversation. This actually helped to spark more ideas of how code compliance can do community outreach. We had a great example through Peoria, Illinois, who does 100 blocks in 100 days. I'm not sure if we can hit 100 blocks, but we're going to try to walk as far as we can within the city as the warms up, so that the citizens and business owners can get to know their code compliance officer firsthand, so that if there's an issue, you know directly that you can call, text, send an email, and that we'll be responsive in our approach. We also want to make sure that we're doing more code compliance outreach and education, because a lot of our residents do not know their rights. They do not know the rights that they have as a tenant, or even as a landlord, sometimes what they can do, and we want to do a bigger part in educating, so we're looking at those outreach opportunities. Another opportunity that we learned about that I am very excited to assist in implementing is code enforcement liens. What a code enforcement lien is it's similar, and I'm going to come out a little bit because I like to walk and talk. So code enforcement liens, if you look at property liens, if you don't pay your taxes, you can have that lien placed onto the property, and then when it's sold, eventually that lien has to be paid back to the city. We get to recoup that money. Currently, with the work and effort that is taken through the multi-departments in the city as it comes to code enforcement, we are not receiving those funds back. The city is spending a lot of money in the utilization of staff towards very specific properties, and it is our job to enforce the whole city. So I look at it similarly to if you look at a classroom and you have one bad child. We're going to take that one bad child, and they're going to have to pay for the attention that is taken away from all of the other children. And this is a means for us to be able to recycle our resources and as well not drain the sources that are provided through the city. So we'll look to continue to expand that in the future. Lastly, we have already come back and ordered a vacant property inventory. What that is, and I'm sure if you think on all of your streets or on any street or area within the city, you can think of a property that is vacant, maybe abandoned, dilapidated, or in a condition of blight. What we want to do is identify those properties and be able to bring those properties back with a usable intent for the city. So we're doing a vacant property inventory so that we can specifically know exactly where those properties are, what condition they're in, what it will take to rehab them and bring them back, and then hopefully to finish that cycle with making them either in the hands of the developer or placed where it can be usable. So that is already underway, and we seek to have an inventory within the next 3 months. Lastly, an opportunity provided to us through the Vacant Property Leadership Institute was a scholarship opportunity for us to seek technical assistance in implementing a lot of the ideas that I stated to you today. We should hear back before the end of the month as far as if we receive it. If so, I'll come back with what the plan will be with that award. Going into hotel suite. We are a hospitality city, and I think that everybody can agree to that. With 11.1 square miles, we have about 34 hotels currently with 1 underway. What we want to do with code compliance is we want to make sure that everyone that comes to College Park, whether to live or to visit, has a safe and sanitary location to be within. So we have implemented, with the assistance of Fulton County Board of Health, the College Park Police Department, and College Park Inspections, hotel sweeps, so that we can make sure that we're doing our part to get into every room within the city. Next, we also have submitted an application for the Atlanta Regional Commission Community Development Assistance Program. In conclusion with that, we submitted, I'm going to skip Willingham, I'll come back to that, but we also submitted an application for a Livable Centers Initiative for Roosevelt Highway. What Livable Centers Initiative is basically looking at a corridor and looking at the nodes or the area activity and seeing how we can re-enhance and revitalize those areas. So in conjunction with City of South Fulton and several other southern cities, we are placing an application to see what creativity we can apply to Roosevelt Highway. For our Atlanta Regional Commission Willingham Drive Local Centers Initiative, we actually have a presentation scheduled during a workshop for March the 25th, and that will be from the cities as far as the findings that were provided, and that will be provided through our consultants, so they'll have all the information available at that time. And then lastly, there is Equitable Dinners Atlanta has participated or is participating with the City of College Park to have a civic dinner. For those unfamiliar with civic dinner, it's an opportunity to bring citizens together for a meal and to discuss multiple topics. One thing that they are focused on this year is the Atlanta race riots that occurred in 1906. So what they do is they actually provide information on the history. There is a brief play, and then afterward there's discussion where we can all talk about the interpretation of the theater and the ongoings in our society. And it's a great opportunity that we will look to schedule in upcoming September, late September or early October. So once that's confirmed, I'll have additional information. All right. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Tasha. Thank you for your ingenuity, your creativity, and really helping to build this community. Thank you so much, Tasha. Okay, Artie.
Just got one item for everyone to update you on. We found a close on that Martin property. If you remember, there's a property, the Enterprise gas station on Main Street. BIDA served as a conduit to acquire property from MARTA, and as a result, that property closing just happened 2 days ago, so we're happy that that's done. So hopefully we'll see some activity there where it'll be a brand new restaurant, a convenience store, and then there'll be a gas station, but the pumps will be closer towards College Street, so they won't be as visible from Main Street to keep that look. And then I believe there's also going to be murals on the Main Street side to add to the murals that we already have in College Park. So that is it. Done.
Well, thank you, Artie, and we're glad to have closed on that property. Looking forward to see what's going to be. Anyone have any questions for our executive director? Okay. Well, at this time, we're going to go on to other issues. We have one item under other issues, and I'm going to turn it over to our vice chair, Ms. Alyssa Jefferson, to begin that discussion.
Well, I would like, the reason why I wanted this added to the agenda, it's so important the way we work together as a city and our team, how we build ourselves within our team, and how we engage with our community, with our businesses. And I felt that during the city council meeting, there was a complaint, so to speak, in regards to how a contract was being handled or managed. So I think that whenever our code of conduct comes up in our performance, I think that there should be an opportunity for clarification, to be on the record so that the community is aware and we have the opportunity, which I thank you, Councilman Clay, for definitely clarifying the situation for the community. But I think that it's also imperative for us as a board and as a city to work as a team and also provide as much clarification to the community. So I would just like to go through just a timeline of events and what could have taken place where this misunderstanding and the breakdown in the process occurred for the United Methodist Church to feel that we were withholding or not fulfilling our obligations to work together as a board in order to rectify their matter. And anyone can clarify the timeline of events.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
the issue involving the purchase sale agreement with the, what I call a parking lot, capital management, needs to be addressed. And
Dan, I'm sorry to be rude. We can't hear you. I'm so sorry. We're old and we have a hearing aid, but we can't hear you. Thank you so much. I apologize.
the issue dealing with the parking lot and the disposition of the parking lot needs to be addressed. And It may be a simple matter, it may be a complicated matter, it may involve the disposition of the property, which, if discussed in public before it is resolved, could jeopardize the city's position or ability to negotiate the property. So I would submit to you that to talk about it until the board has addressed it in executive session might not be proper this time.
Well, I didn't want to discuss the specifics of the PSA. I wanted to discuss the timeline of events which caused the misunderstanding between the developer and the BIDA board. So that there isn't any, to clarify what occurred.
When the discussion started and a problem was identified, due to the city manager and the city attorney, we began looking at the process, minutes, versions of the lease, and then I don't know how to describe it, the discussion occurred at the city council meeting, and it did, some of the discussion didn't fit what we have found. I thought it was appropriate that the letter, and I was not copied on the letter, but because it does affect BIDA's business, BIDA's interest, I thought it would be appropriate to address that letter with a response of what I have found. And I have a version of it that I need to share with you, but because of it may affect the disposition of the property, it's not something that needs to be talked about in public until we resolve it.
Okay. No.
All right. Okay, so we're going to move on to executive session at this time. And so as we go into executive session, what's going to happen is this is mainly the board will be meeting along with the city manager will still remain in the room with us. And we do have, I know, Mr. Julian, you are on the schedule, so do we want to take like a 2-minute break or something? Let's take about a 3-minute break, just if anybody needs to, so we can change the room, and also if anybody needs to.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to enter into executive session
Yes.
for the purposes of real estate and litigation.
All right.
And I'll second.
Second, those in favor? Aye. Aye, okay. All right, so we will move on. Let's take a 3-minute break, and we will come back.